Hi everybody, this is Tiffany, aka the Black Rose. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing Capricorn men, what they're like in terms of dating, friendship, business relationships, and how they kind of interact with people, or how to spot a Capricorn man in a crowd. Like, what are the giveaway signs? Like, what are their common qualities and characteristics? And I want to also address the different types and talk about like the different types of Capricorn men that are out there, because when people on YouTube or online and or in magazines and like those kind of newspapers and magazines, when they're discussing Capricorns or Capricorn men, they kind of lump everyone in the same category, or they kind of like give us a certain characteristic which might be common across the board, like in terms of like kind of qualities and characteristics, but there are different types of Capricorns out there. Just like there's different types of Scorpios, there's different types of like Aquarius people. So there's different types of Capricorn men too. So I want to just get into like the different types of Capricorn men as well. But anyway, so what are some of the basic things? Like, what are some of the telltale signs that you have met a Capricorn man, or you suspect that someone might be a Capricorn male, or has a lot of Capricorn in their charts? So one of the giveaway signs would be if they're very ambitious, if they have like a lot of motivation and drive in terms of like business and finance, or maybe they're an entrepreneur, maybe they started their own business, or they have something that like on the side of their regular day job. So Capricorns are usually very ambitious and very business-minded people. They like to build their empire. They like to, if they haven't like, if they weren't born into something, they will build like from scratch, or they will kind of work their way to the top of some kind of business or company or organization. So Capricorn men are usually very passionate and very ambitious, and they have like a lot of big ideas and hopes and dreams and things to accomplish. They probably have like a list of things that they want to get done and accomplish. It might not be like a Capricorn female where she like writes it down and it's all neat and all that. A Capricorn man might just be like just going for it, like in the moment, like he might be just very motivated and confident in himself, and strong with himself, and like have a lot of like, self-reliance and self-assurance and strong self-esteem. So he can be able to reach his goals and reach different heights that not a lot of people are able to reach. Capricorn people can usually overcome a lot of obstacles and hardships and struggles because it's kind of inbuilt, because of Saturn. Saturn sometimes can be a really strict and tough planet to deal with, but Capricorns usually like try to overcome it. They try to push through no matter whatever's going on in the background. It doesn't matter if it's like a lot of noise and it's loud and it's not really helping anyone progress or get better in life. A Capricorn's just gonna push it, kick it to the side, and like step over it and go after their goals, go after their dreams. You know what I'm saying? Capricorn doesn't really care if people don't like them, if people think that their ideas are a bit stupid or crazy. They're still gonna, a lot of the times Capricorns can have a lot of like strong self-esteem, strong self-motivation, and they're gonna believe in themselves no matter what. They don't need anyone to believe in them. They can believe in themselves to achieve anything. So that's another giveaway sign. Like if he's a type of man that isn't really seeking approval when he is talking to you or talking to people around him, like he will state facts. He will tell people like about what he does or what he's good at. He will talk about his accomplishments, what he's achieved, and all that. But and and stuff like that. But he doesn't have to kind of like maybe suck up to people, or be really like needy and like that kind of energy where someone's like kind of needy. He's probably not going to be like that. He's just gonna say like what he's good at, and kind of talk about what he's done and see how people react and respond to that. And they're very like Capricorns are very direct. They're very like business oriented, very focused. It's a very focused sign. So they don't really look to people. They look around the whole world to get answers. Like sometimes they're just self-assured. They can find answers within themselves, especially if they know themselves and they've done the work, or if they have developed and grown in a specific area of their life, whether that be finance, whether that be advertising, marketing, and all that. Capricorns are very focused. So he is usually he could be like a CEO or an entrepreneur, like I said before. He could be very very ambitious and have a lot of ideas, a lot of things going for him, and he will be able to keep up with a lot of trends, like business trends or certain market trends. He'll be up to date with stuff like that. He will be in the know of a lot of different things. So he's able to keep a good conversation with people. He's able to, have good, strong intellectual conversations with people, because Capricorns are very like mental sign. We're very we like intellectual conversations. We like stimulating conversations. We like to think and converse about a lot of things, or sometimes even debate. But Capricorns are very like, it's a very like mental sign. It's very like we think a lot. And we have a lot of ideas running through our minds, and that's a good thing when it comes to ambition and business, because sometimes you have to keep up with certain things. You have to think about the future. You have to predict the future. So Capricorn people can be very much like their mind, even if we're asleep, even if we're sleeping, like we're still thinking about something. Like we have a really good imagination, even though people don't depict us as having a good imagination, or they think we're like stiff and starchy. We still can be quite creative, because you have to be able to adapt in like business world. In the business world, you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to change with current trends and all that. So Capricorn people in general can be very forward thinking. They can actually be into innovative things and whatnot, kind of like Aquarius, but we're more grounded and stable than Aquarius, and Capricorn men are more grounded and stable. Another telltale sign to see or find out if someone's a Capricorn is their style and their fashion. Capricorns usually go for classic looks. Capricorn men will probably look like Neo, that singer Neo, who wears the hats and all that. Because Capricorn men, they're more like Capricorn people in general aren't really into the designer, tacky, cheesy stuff like with the logo names all over it. Like they rather a classic piece, a classic kind of accessory or a classic outfit. So he will probably be wearing like a suit. It'll be very neat. It'll be tidy. Capricorn's like tidy, neat looks, classic looks. So he might wear a suit, or if he's going for something more casual, it will be very neat. It could be like a white shirt and some slacks, or just like a neat and clean outfit. So because also Capricorns like things organized. So sometimes when it comes to stepping out and being out in the world, and we want to be seen as organized. We want to be seen as reliable people and all that. So Capricorns like to be put together in terms of fashion and outfits. So also in terms of like dating and in terms of like relationships, Capricorn men do like go for women who would dress in more classic styles, or just fashionable women. So Capricorn man, when it comes to like romance and stuff, will probably go for women who take care of their appearance and make an effort with their appearance. And that doesn't mean you have to be like a supermodel or anything like that, but Capricorn men are a bit conscious. how do I say it? They're a bit concerned, slightly concerned with their outward appearance and what people think of them. So they will probably prefer to be with a partner who is taking care of herself, like not just appearance wise, but like health wise, financially, and all that. So they would want a woman who is well rounded, like like the crystal ball, well rounded, and has who's into different things, and they also like women who are compatible with their lifestyle. So what I mean by that is Capricorn men usually have a lifestyle. They might be, like I said, a CEO of a company, business, or organization. They might be really high up in some kind of department. They might be a chairman on some kind of committee or board, So when it comes to dating, a Capricorn man, if you're interested in dating a Capricorn man, you need to make sure that you align well with his kind of lifestyle, or you can fit into his lifestyle, because he's going to be if he sees something more serious in you and it's not just a booty call, he's going to be looking and checking to see if you align with his lifestyle, because Capricorn men might have a certain type of lifestyle where he will be going to certain events or hanging around certain people, and he wants to make sure that you can fit into that, because if you don't, I mean, he might not treat the relationship very seriously. He might just not take you very seriously. And you don't want to get into that, because you might end up getting hurt. You might end up, wasting your time, or, he might be stringing you along just for the fun of it. And another thing I want to address with Capricorn men, they can be, if they've been working hard and I have reached a certain status, or reached a lot of goals, and they can play hard. So they might work hard, they're hard workers. Capricorns are known to be hard workers. So when they work hard, they play hard. And if they are like an unhealthy, unevolved Capricorn, they might turn to really earthly things, like really like earthly pleasures. And I don't mean earthly things in like a good way. I'm talking about overindulging in earthly things. So what I mean by that is he might be into like substance abuse, like drinking alcohol, and maybe drugs and all that, and just overdoing it, like overdoing the drinking, binge drinking and all that. He might be into hooking up with a lot of women and not really treating women in a nice way, or just like using women and just moving on to the next. But it's like it's not just, it's like a destructive habit, basically, that it's like a descent. He's descending and he's not ascending, he's actually descending. So you need to look out for that in terms of the Capricorn man, or if you're in a relationship with a Capricorn man, if you want to date a Capricorn man, if you want to, if you're suspicious of things going on, you need to be aware. Those are some of the negative qualities that can come with unevolved Capricorn men, or Capricorn men that are descending instead of ascending, which is a thing, which is a discussion and like a thing in the spiritual community. Descending is basically when you are in a downward spiral, when you are on a destructive kind of path. So you can be basically causing harm to yourself, causing harm to other people around you. You might be eating really bad foods that aren't really good for your system, aren't aligned with your blood type, aren't aligned with your system. You might be doing substance abuse and taking a lot of drugs. You might be acting really violent towards people around you and harming yourself, physically harming yourself as well. So that's like the descent, that's descending. It's very, you might be overindulging in certain things that you shouldn't be overindulging in, that might cause harm to you or the people around you, basically. Ascending is when you're focusing on self-improvement, self-growth. You might be putting in positive messages into your mind. You might be eating a more plant-based diet and focusing on a cleaner diet that's aligned with your body type and your blood type. You might be focusing on your goals and dreams, your career, your family and social life, but in a very positive way, motivating those around you, being supportive and there for those around you, but also not being a pushover, also like standing up for yourself when you have to, but not in a way that's necessarily violent or like very destructive. Like you can stand up for yourself in other way that doesn't have to result to like violence and killing a bunch of people and chopping up people, right? So anyway, Capricorn men also, they like pretty women, they like attractive women, especially like I said before, like when a Capricorn reaches a certain level in their career or in their life, a certain kind of status, he might be the type of man that will want to have a model, a pretty woman on his arm. He will be like that type of guy. He might be a bit older and then he might date, like the Capricorn guy, he might be older and then date a younger female, or he even might be like, even if he's younger, he might date like an older female. So it depends on the Capricorn man. Like I said, all Capricorn people are different, but yeah, usually Capricorn men they're okay with like dating people that have like a age difference, like, that are different to them in terms of like age. So Capricorn men are also, they're very low key, like just like Capricorn women. They're not like the loudest and all that. They can be really goofy. Like Capricorn people, we can be really goofy and crack a lot of jokes at times. We're not necessarily like really loud or blah blah blah, but we like to crack jokes. We like to be funny. We like to make people laugh. But this is usually like when we kind of get to know you more and we kind of open up more. But I think maybe that's the case for Capricorn women. Maybe us Capricorn women can be more conservative. Capricorn men, I find like they're a bit they're a bit more okay with like talking to strangers and all that, and being goofy around people they don't know, because Jim Carrey's Capricorn. There's a lot of other Capricorn comedians out there. So yeah. Another thing in terms of how to attract a Capricorn man, and like what you should wear, or like how you should act and all that. Like I said before, wear classic styles, wear classic clothing, because that's going to match and align with his own kind of style if he dresses classic, or if he's more of an edgy Capricorn man, that likes rock and roll and leather jackets, and then maybe you can dress more edgy, because Capricorn men don't mind dating someone who's more artistic, or who's more kind of edgy in terms of fashion. Capricorn men are open to that. Capricorn women might have issues dating the artistic kind of men, just because Capricorn women like stable men, men that are more business. They like more like businessmen in terms of dating and marriage and all that. But Capricorn men, on the other hand, are, I think, more lenient when it comes to dating people that are very expressive and artistic in their outfits and fashion. Now, when it comes to personality, when it comes to kind of behavior, mannerisms, and stuff like that, if you want him to take you seriously in the relationship, you're gonna have to show that you mean business, and that you are not, and you aren't crazy, or you aren't like erratic and all that. Because Capricorn people, in terms of relationships, they want to be someone who's stable, be with someone who's stable. They want to be with a person that is confident in themselves. So you already have to build that kind of self-esteem and self-trust, because we're not very like emotionally responsive people at times. So if you are like experiencing, like if you are always coming to the Capricorn man with a sob story, or like being really emotional, but just like for attention and trying to like do the whole energy vampire thing, he's just gonna cut you off. He's gonna like stop talking to you. And it's the same thing with Capricorn females. Like we have a lot that we want to do and accomplish and achieve, and we can tell, like, our perception of people is very good. Like we can read people very well. So he's got to know if you are one of those people, like if you're one of those females that is just playing games and acting silly and all that, and he's gonna cut you off. So you need to be sure of what you want before getting in a relationship with him, and be sure that both of you align together, right? And see how it works out. And he's usually like, if you see something serious in you, if he sees this could be like a bit more long term, a bit more serious, then he's going to want to actually take the time and know you. He's going to make the time, no matter how busy he is, no matter how many things are going on in his life. He's going to take the time. He's going to make sure that he finds out like all about you and reads you very well and reads you properly, right? And we have no time. We have no problem with waiting around for people to reveal their cards. You know, we will let people speak and tell us everything about them, and we will find out who they are. We will see how they treat others. We will see how they treat themselves, what their relationship situation or circumstances like with their family. We will be observing all of that. He will be observing that. Capricorn man will be observing that. Yeah, so whoever kind of ignored or didn't really care about the Capricorn man before he became anybody, or before he became successful and all that, whoever kind of like rejected him and all that, when he reaches a certain level, when he reaches like a certain status and all that, he will go after those women that like he never was able to get before. He will go after women that basically kind of might have rejected him in the past, or might have kind of like, you know, didn't really take him too seriously, didn't take him on or anything like that. So, and that for him is like, that's like him accomplishing a goal. That's him like overcoming an obstacle and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Capricorn people can be very persistent, and so can Capricorn men. So he will like go after those women that were like, you know, high status women and all that didn't have any time, and now that he's someone like, he will like go out with them and date them and all that, and it'll be kind of like a status thing for him. You know, some Capricorn men and Taurus men can be like that. Yeah, and also another thing I noticed with Capricorn men is that they don't really care what people think about their relationships. So if a Capricorn man is unhealthy and he is dating women that are kind of like, he's just dating women like for status, and like he's just dating a bunch of females and all that, he doesn't care, because Capricorns are able to disassociate with their emotions. They're not, they don't have to like feel, they don't have to be emotional around people. We're good with like keeping our distance in terms of emotions. We don't have to attach like an emotional connection to people if we don't want to, basically. So, excuse me. So, what I mean by that is, a Capricorn can be in a relationship with you. You might think everything's all loving and romantic and lovely and all that, but we can disassociate with our emotions. So if you think that a Capricorn man genuinely loves you, you need to like hear him say that. You need to like see it in his eyes, because you might be just having fun with a Capricorn, dating a Capricorn, but you might not necessarily know if he genuinely loves you and has feelings for you, because Capricorns we can be very good friends with people. We can be very fun and flirty with people, and sometimes they think that means we like them, or that means we love them, or, you know, have feelings towards them. But that can just be us being like polite and nice and friendly. So don't mistake the politeness, don't mistake the kind of positive energy and flirting and all that for being like, for like meaning that they love you and all that. Like, actually hear and listen to them say it, or have a conversation about like where they see the relationship going. Like, if it's later on down the line, like maybe discuss what they think of your relationship and all that, and how they feel towards you and all that kind of stuff. Because Capricorn people are good with being flirty and friendly with everyone, you know. Once we get to know you, once we open up to you, we will be really fun and goofy and, you know, crack jokes and support you, be there for you, encourage you with whatever you're doing, whatever goals and dreams you have. We will usually be supportive. Even if we don't have a lot of time, we'll do as much as we can to help you out. Yeah, so Capricorn men are also very, an example, I want to give some examples of Capricorn men, like prominent people that you probably have heard of or you've seen on TV or you've listened to on the radio. So a good example of, and also like also Capricorn, or also people that are not Capricorns but have a lot of Capricorn in their chart. And so I was listening to The Weeknd. I've listened to him since he was still living in Toronto, like years ago when I was in high school. I always loved his music and I always felt a deep connection to it. I always felt like it was very dark and emotional and passionate, and the darkness to his music and his sound was very like Saturn. It was very like, you know, and it was also very like a descending Capricorn because he was always singing about like substance abuse and hooking up with a bunch of women, going to the strip club, and like what else? Low, kind of like just descending, like kind of like underworld energy, you know, like dark energy. And but it still had beauty in it. It still had, you know, it has a lot of beauty and emotion, and like it's different, like it's a different sound. It was a different sound like when it came out, and a lot of people really liked it, and they still like his music. But his first few albums and like old stuff was very raw. It was very like unfiltered. It was very deep, dark, and like moody, you know what I'm saying? And I thought that this guy, I thought Abel, his name's Abel, I thought that he was a Capricorn because I'm like, I'm listening to this, I'm like, damn. And I saw his photo as well. I'm like, oh my goodness, is he a Capricorn? You know? I thought he was Capricorn. And then I checked out his astrological chart. Apparently he's Aquarius, which didn't surprise me because in his music he doesn't really like when he's talking about being with women and all that, he kind of is able to disassociate himself from women. And what I mean by that is in his lyrics, like if you listen to the lyrics, he's like, he has been with a bunch of women and he doesn't really have any feelings towards them. It's just like hit it and quit it, right? And that can be a very Aquarius thing to do. You know, Aquarius people are very cold. And if you think Capricorns are cold, Aquarius people will surprise you with their coldness. Like they can be very cold, very unfeeling, unemotional. And that doesn't mean they don't care for people. It just they're just Aquarius people are on a different kind of level, a different kind of frequency. They have their own category that is completely different from us. So but yeah, so he has a lot of Capricorn in his chart though. He has a lot of Capricorn in his chart, which didn't surprise me because I felt the Saturn energy like in his music. It was very prevalent. Yeah, so he also has some Scorpio. I think, let me pull it up. I can pull it up right now online. The Weeknd zodiac chart. Okay, so $19.90. Oop. Okay, so there he is. Okay, this is it. See that? Capricorn, Aquarius, Scorpio, all along here, and Cancer. Okay. Okay. So, Sun in Aquarius, Moon in Scorpio, Mercury in Aquarius, Venus in Capricorn, Mars in Capricorn, Saturn in Capricorn. Oh, see? There we go. Uranus in Capricorn and Neptune in Capricorn. Pluto in Scorpio. No wonder the music sounds so dark. Yeah, all of that there. Capricorn and Scorpio. And so yeah, a lot of Capricorn in the chart there. Yep. That's a lot. That is a lot. Look at that. Practically a Capricorn. Even though his sun sign is Aquarius, practically a Capricorn because of all that. Okay. And then I have another one here. This is the map. Okay. Right, and the Cancer and all that. A lot of Cancer as well. Cancer there, and Chiron. Where's the other Cancer? Oh, there it is. Jupiter. Jupiter and Cancer. So a lot of water and earth. No wonder his music is so dark. No wonder his music is so, is so like emotional and chaotic and has a lot of dark energy, dark vibes to it. Even the style of it, you know what I mean? And also, like, when I was describing how Capricorn men, when they reach a certain level, certain status, they go for women who they never had access to. They weren't able to date and all that. So The Weeknd is dating Bella Hadid. They have been off and on. And before he dated Bella Hadid, he was with Selena Gomez, right? He's with Selena Gomez, I believe. I can't remember exactly. I don't really keep up to date with it, but that's the thing, with Capricorn men, or men that have a lot of Capricorn in their chart. Like I said, he has Mercury. No, not Mercury. He has Venus, Mars, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So that's a lot, So he has a lot of Capricorn, so he can probably relate to Capricorn things or Capricorn people, and will be able to understand how Capricorn people are. And yeah, so he's dating Bella Hadid. I think he's dating her currently at the moment, and the Selena thing is probably over. So that's a perfect example of like a Capricorn man dating a pretty high status female, or model or supermodel or whatever she is, socialite. I guess she's a model and socialite. So Capricorn men are into that. They like dating women like that. It's like a status thing for them, and it's like it's like they overcome an obstacle, they overcome something, or they're somebody now. And I don't know how to describe it, but I think it's also like ego based. It's like a good thing for their ego. They feel like the man, they feel like on top of the world, if they're dating someone like that. And good for them. But anyway, I think, who else is a Capricorn? Oh yeah, Tyrese, the guy from Fast and Furious. Tyrese. I didn't even know he was Capricorn. My friend just told me that the other day. And he is the epitome. He is like the epitome of an alpha Capricorn man. You know what I'm saying? The muscles and beautiful smile. Like, some Capricorns have beautiful smiles, really, really beautiful smiles. Yeah, so Tyrese is a Capricorn, and he is very confident and very very self-assured, very ambitious, very self-motivated. Even like, no matter what character he plays in the movies, he's always kind of like that. He's always very like brave and confident, and he just goes for it. And he's like a good protector and good provider. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that. And Capricorn men can be more they want to be more controlling, they want to be more dominant in the relationship. So they'll prefer if the female takes like the back seat, and because the Capricorn likes to be the driver, the Capricorn man likes to be the one in control. He doesn't want someone that's going to be very bossy, telling him what to do. He's going to want a female that's more cohesive, and that's more first of all, that gets along and gels well with his lifestyle, but also a female that can let him be the man, and let him, whether that's like be the provider, or whether that is like letting him take control of things, letting him do a lot of things in the household, or make plans and arrangements in terms of dates and all that. Like, if a Capricorn man is serious like about you, he's going to be the one, trying to control things, trying to control the situation and all that. Yeah, and it isn't really anything to be scared of, only if he is an unhealthy, unevolved Capricorn man. Then you should be looking at the controlling thing, like side-eyeing it, and being suspicious and, but the controlling natures of a Capricorn man isn't really controlling. It's just like being organized. So like planning things, like being on time for things, making sure certain things and systems and structures run smoothly. That's what I mean by controlling. Like when I mean controlling, I don't necessarily mean they're controlling you. They're controlling their partner. They're controlling people. Like a Capricorn person we know that we can't control people. We can give advice, but when we're controlling things, we're trying to control the situations and outcomes. We're trying to make sure things are organized and things are in place. Now, if a Capricorn is unhealthy, they might be over controlling and like, obsessed about having things a certain way. But I don't think they're like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Another example of a Capricorn male is Robert Pattinson from the Twilight movies. He is very Capricorn, and even like when I saw when I saw him on screen and all that, like his face, and like it's kind of like those dull features, those dullish kind of blue eyes, like that's very Capricorn. He's blonde and all that. Capricorn people can have a bit of darkness to them in terms of appearance because of the Saturnian kind of thing. The Saturnian influence will impact your appearance. You know what I mean? Like I was born with more brown hair as a child. It's very like a bit like light brown hair, but it got darker as I got older because my dad has blonde hair. And yeah, so a Capricorn person can be blonde, but they might have very like dull or dark eyes. And I know Robert Pattinson has like heavy dark eyebrows. The heavy dark eyebrows, that's another kind of Saturnian quality or Saturnian thing. Yeah, so Capricorn men are not stiff and starchy like people depict them to be. They can be quite goofy, like Jim Carrey is a Capricorn, and they can crack jokes, and they'll want to see you laugh. They'll want to see they want to see, people's playful side. They like to see people's fun side, people that are close to them usually. Um, Capricorns are usually more reserved. They're not, unless they have a lot of fire. Maybe if they have a lot of fire and air in their chart, they can be very social. They can be very, crazy and bubbly and, all the time. But usually, Capricorns, we're more low key, we're more down to earth and chill and just cool, because we were born in the cold ass months. We were born in December, January. So we're very cool. We're very just chill, Yeah. Okay, now. So in the bedroom, Capricorn men are usually gonna be more dominant. They want to be more controlling usually in the bedroom. They can be very sensual, with the candles and all that if they want to be. That might be something that the female is more into, but Capricorn men will try to make things romantic. Usually if he really, really likes the girl, he'll keep it classy and, and all of that. But if it's like a situation or kind of hookup kind of thing, it doesn't really matter. He might not care as much about how everything looks and how everything's gonna be in the mood and atmosphere. It might just be like a hookup and like that's it. You know what I mean? He's not gonna put in a lot of effort and to woo his partner and to do everything in his and with his energy to like, But anyway, so when a female is with a Capricorn man, a lot of people will realize when they're together that a Capricorn man will have a lot of stamina and will be can like last a long time. Usually it'd be kind of rare or weird like if a Capricorn man can't last a long time, because Capricorn people have stamina. They have a lot of like drive. They have a lot of energy within them, that they usually reserve that for their goals and everything. But when it comes to like dating and love making, they can use that energy to impress their partner in various ways, and I'll leave that up to your imagination. But yeah, so Capricorn men might not really in might not particularly like a female that's very dominant and controlling, just because they like to be usually the ones dominating and in control. But maybe it could work out. I guess it depends on what else he would have in his chart, in his astrological chart, right? Yeah, so another thing, with Capricorn man, um, when I was talking about domination and stuff like that, I don't think Christian Grey is a very positive example of that, because he was very obsessed with it. But um, if it's like some Capricorns would be into like BDSM and all that, but it might be very like tame. Like it won't be anything very heavy, like sadistic and all that. But if the Capricorn is very like dark and has a lot of dark energy, like maybe like The Weeknd, the singer The Weeknd, if it's like someone like that, they might be really into the hardcore stuff, like Christian Grey kind of stuff. They might, and you'll never know. The thing with Capricorns is Capricorns are very reserved kind of people, so you might not know like that they have that side to them. So with Capricorn men, um if they have that side, they will make it known to you like eventually. But that's usually it's like when you're more intimate, like when you've gotten to know each other and all that. He's not gonna just come out and say it like right off the bat. Like Capricorns can be really freaky. They don't call us the devil in tarot, like the tarot cards. They don't call us the devil for nothing. You know what I'm saying? The devil is like the shadow side of Capricorn people. The devil in the tarot card, it's about restriction and all this, and kind of like Saturn, kind of like Father Time is given a bad rap. Saturn is given a bad rap and has people like stigmatize and say Saturn is terrible and evil, satanic and all that. And there's a lot of things that can be twisted around and said is satanic and evil and whatnot. Saturn used to be, the original sun, and Saturn is the ruler and timekeeper of the planet. So Saturn has many different meanings to it. Saturn is it's not the most emotional or compassionate planet. And if you have Saturn in your birth chart, you will realize that it's not gonna hold your hand and kiss you when you got a cut or bruise. It's gonna like push you back into the arena and say, come on, kick ass. You know what I'm saying? Like Saturn doesn't really give a shit about your little issues and your little human trials and tribulations. It's like, no. Capricorns, if they're unhealthy, Capricorn men, if they're unhealthy, can be the kind of like psychopathic or psychotic people. So that's something to look out for if you are dating in a relationship with Capricorn and you suspect that there might be an unhealthy or unstable kind of one. It's usually, we're a very mental sign. We think a lot about things. We're good with mental work and psychology and all that. So a Capricorn man that's a bit someone that you want to like not be in a relationship with or want to stay away from would be someone kind of psychopathic, like Patrick Bateman, is a good example from American Psycho. Patrick Bateman, he was a very scary psycho, like Capricorn male type of figure or archetype. He was also descending a lot. He was he was having sex with a lot of hookers and he killed them, and he was doing kind of like diabolical things and things that was a bit dangerous and crazy and of detriment that could have like, it was like, if you watch the movie, if you watch the ending, you'll kind of understand. But that character in itself, that character in itself is a very good depiction or example of psychotic, negative Capricorn man, or Capricorn man that's a bit dangerous, that people should probably stay away from. Another example of a Capricorn man that is a bit scary and dark and all that would be that character Jigsaw from Saw, the movies Saw. So Jigsaw, you know, with the mind games, that whole like mind thing. Someone would say, oh, that's a Scorpio thing, and Scorpios can be good with mind games too and manipulation, but the Capricorn is more like mental with it. Okay, so some other red flags or things you should look out for when you're dating a Capricorn man and you want to figure out if he's a bit stable or if he's like not really the stable type. Listen to his conversation, listen to how he's interacting with people around you. Find out about his past history in terms of like dating and relationships. Let him reveal his cards. Because, you know, Capricorn men can be pretty slick. They can be pretty, they can like, you might think a certain way of them. They might have spoken about themselves and you might perceive them to be a certain way, but that isn't necessarily the case, right? So you need to find out, you know, what this man is really like, if he has any skeletons in the closet, you know what I'm saying? You need to investigate, do your own investigating, because I'm sure he's been investigating you, you know what I'm saying? So do your research and find out what this guy's about, okay? Another thing with Capricorn men is if they're unstable, I want to just cover qualities of unstable Capricorn men. Unstable Capricorn men will probably be into this whole substance abuse. They will be into drugs and alcohol, but overdoing it, you know, like overdoing drugs, overdoing alcohol, consuming a lot of alcohol, binge drinking. He'll probably be the type of guy that likes going to strip clubs a lot, paying for sex a lot, sex a lot. He might even have like a sex addiction. He might have like a different types of addictions that he's trying to hide and all that, or he needs to like evolve more. He needs to work on himself more to overcome these things, you know, instead of using them as a temporary patch, instead of using them as a temporary band-aid or cover up for his deeper issues that he needs to sort out, right? So he might have like addictions to pornography or sex, or like, you know, sleeping with women, like paying women for sex and all that, or he might be into doing a lot of like substances and dangerous kind of things, dangerous and reckless behavior. I mean, even if you look at that music video with The Weeknd, where he was kind of like high, blinded by the lights and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is just an example of, you know, reckless kind of behavior. A Capricorn person just really like their mind is completely gone, you know. It's like an escape, kind of like, you know how Pisces people, they like to escape, you know, and all that. With Capricorns, they like to escape through earthly pleasures, earthly things. They like to escape through the drugs. They like to escape through the alcohol, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You know, there's a singer from the Arctic Monkeys. He's the lead singer from the Arctic Monkeys, Alex Turner. Alex Turner is a Capricorn, you know, and his lifestyle, you know, sex, drugs, rock and roll, you know what I mean? Could be quite dangerous, could be quite destructive over some time. And sure, that lifestyle can work out, I guess, for a certain period in time, you know, especially when you're young and your body is fully functioning and able to do a lot of things. But over some time, you know, over like a long period of time, you know, that can be a bit destructive. It can be like this, you know, destructive. It could like all fall down. You're descending down and further into hell, further into the underworld. So you have to be careful, you know, Capricorn man, if you're watching, you know, I know I'm probably coming across as the mom right now, but whatever. This is just an educational video, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to take it personally or seriously. No one's perfect. Like, no one's a perfect human being. We've all done shit. We've all done like reckless, careless things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't preach things like love and light. I'm not that kind of person. I like getting into shadow work. I like getting into dark topics and dark things. You know, I don't expect people on earth or around me to be perfect 24/7. I'm just saying like I'm just saying like you need to sometimes take care of yourself because you only have one body, you only have one body, so you need to take care of that. And I've seen people, I'm just saying it because I've seen people like face consequences, face like, have died and passed away because of their reckless behavior. So I'm just saying it for like educational purposes and all that. But like if you feel uncomfortable listening to things like this, you don't have to watch this video. It's just like for entertainment and for educational purposes. Anyway, yeah, so the whole kind of destructive behavior and self-destructive behavior can be an escape for a lot of Capricorn people. It can be like a band-aid, to cover up, because sometimes Capricorn people, they don't want to face the emotions. They don't want to face those deep emotions. They don't like it. They want to stay away from it as far as possible. They want to just, so they will indulge in the earthly pleasures, especially like if they just got money, especially if they just reached a certain status, a certain, they're doing well and stuff like that. It's very tempting. It's very tempting to dance with the devil. It's very tempting to indulge in all that, nice stuff, and indulge in all that, all the earthly things, and all the like lustful sinful things, you know what I mean? It's easy to get sucked up and absorbed into it, especially if you don't have anyone around you telling you anything better or wanting you to ascend. Sometimes the people around us can encourage us on a path of dissension and encourage us on a path of like downward spiraling, even if they are kind of like into our lifestyle, even if they are into the same things that we're into, that doesn't mean that they are necessarily there for our greatest good or want to see us healthy and all that, or because like they might not even, they might be going through the same struggles, through the same kind of things, so they don't know better themselves, you know what I mean? So you need to be careful, Capricorn people, who you hang around with, who you hang out with, and that goes for any sign. Like, it's just good to be aware of the sorts of people you're hanging out with. You don't want to end up in one of those situations where all shit goes down, and people are getting harmed, and reckless stuff is happening. You need to be careful. You need to be aware of what the hell's going on around you. And yeah, so that's just the rare Capricorn kind of person or unhealthy person. I mean, that's rare. You're not going to come across people like that all the time. Capricorns are pretty tame, we're pretty down to earth, we're pretty cool, calm, and collected. We're not necessarily like that unless we're trying to escape from something, unless we haven't healed ourselves, we haven't developed, we haven't ascended, we haven't fully understood ourselves yet. That might be, it's always easy to overcome those struggles and things, and it might take some time and dedication and a lot of self-motivation and self-belief, but it can be done, you know what I mean? But other than that, there's so many other good qualities when it comes to dating and being in a relationship with Capricorn men, especially if you find a healthy one, and there's lots of healthy Capricorn men out there, that that are like probably single and available. So I guess you can check out and see like who's around you in your neighborhood, in your community, and find a nice Capricorn mate, or find a nice Capricorn guy. I believe that Capricorn people do make good partners, especially if they're the more mature type, they're the more evolved Capricorn type of people. They will make great, stable, and supportive partners. They will be there for you. They will do everything to make you happy. You know what I mean? Capricorn men love being providers and love like they love seeing their partner happy. Making their partner happy and being there for their partner, and they're family oriented as well. If they're the stable, mature, evolved type, they'll like family and trips and travels, like vacation. They'll like going to different activities, different outings with their family, planning different things, maybe like a road trip and traveling to certain countries. So it's definitely like Capricorn people are very cool and fun to be around with. They'll crack jokes. They'll be very dynamic. They'll add a lot to conversation. They'll stimulate your mind. They'll stimulate you all kinds of ways, honey. All kinds of ways, okay? They will be there for you. They will support you with whatever you want to do, especially if they're healthy, you know. They'll understand, like, if you're very ambitious, they won't have like an issue with that. They won't, like, if you want to do something, like maybe start your own business, or like you have this cool idea, or you have this cool project you're working on, and the Capricorn is not gonna like belittle your ideas and belittle your hopes and dreams if you're feeling insecure. If the Capricorn is healthy, they're gonna encourage you. They're gonna support you with whatever it is. Now, if it's something that the Capricorn thinks is actually like is detrimental or not really helpful to you, they might let you know, like, straight up, like, hey, maybe you should try something else. They're not gonna like be rude about it. They'll say, hey, maybe you should try this instead, or, you know, something like that. But we like to encourage people with their goals and dreams. We don't like to be those like dream killers and all that, because we ourselves have a lot of things going on for us. We have a lot of like things we're passionate about and ambitious about, so we can't, like, you know, we don't want to like be that kind of person around other people, like those kinds of dream killers. We want to encourage people, and we like self-improvement and self-growth, so we like seeing that in others. We like seeing other people do self-improvement, self-growth, manifesting the law of attraction. We like seeing people that are into stuff like that, you know, because it motivates and inspires us as well. And we can relate to people like that. We feel connected to people like that, as opposed to people that always like to have things handed to them, always like to follow the rules, follow the book. All are those people that like down talk and doubt others and gossip and spread rumors about people that are, you know, ambitious or doing things with their life. You know, we really could care less about people like that, or talk or conversations like that. We're not interested in conversations like that. We're into like progressing. We're into things that are like dynamic. We're into business, finance, futurism, future in terms of technology, future in terms of systems and structures. You know, we could care less about what some celebrities doing and who baby mama and all that crap. Like, that doesn't matter. You know, who cares? You know, we're stacking, you know, we're collecting the bag, we're building. We don't care about all that bullshit. All that bullshit doesn't matter. It's a distraction from you, and it takes away time from your day and what you could be accomplishing and what you could be achieving. You need to focus on you. You know what I'm saying? All that shit is always going to be there. All that talk about, you know, so and so and what celebrities do, that's always going to be there. But what takes work and dedication and time and energy towards the most is sometimes those high goals and dreams, those like high aspirations that you have for yourself. You need to like be serious about that. And Capricorns will take stuff like that seriously, you know, if they want to. Yeah, so I hope this conversation was interesting. It's getting kind of late right now, so I think I'm gonna end this video. But thanks for watching. If you enjoy the conversation and would like to hear me talk about other things in the future, you know, just let me know. You can send me an email or let me know in the comments what you'd like to hear me talking about. I'll be doing more zodiac videos in the future, and more kind of like spell work, law of attraction videos, and yeah, stuff like that. I think on my main channel I have more variety than this channel. I just started this channel, but yeah, like I like doing spell work. I like manifesting and law of attraction techniques, so I'll be doing more of that. If you'd like to connect with me on social media, my Instagram is blackxsrose. That is blackxsrose, and my Triller and TikTok is also blackxsrose. I'm on all those platforms.